Wall Street to Main Street to help small business owners have the same capital as corporate America and give them the same resources as a larger company. We cover business funding, business credit, scaling, business consulting, and much more. Check out the website at shieldadvisorygroup.com. Welcome to the show, The Liquid Lunch Project.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Liquid Lunch Project. I am Matthew Meehan, alongside my partner and co-host, Mr. Luigi, the Professor Rosa Bianca. What's going on, Luigi?
Matt, how are you, partner? We have a treat for our small business clients today. We have Jeff Brekken with us, principal of Blue Sky. And I think this gentleman and his team is an ideal partner for the American small business. But without further ado, let's welcome Jeff.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks, Luigi and Matt. It's a pleasure being on here.
Thanks for being here, man. We really appreciate you, and we're really excited for this episode because, you know, a lot of our clients and a lot of our listeners are small business owners, right? And everybody always thinks it's about how much money can I make? How much money can I make? But it's really not about how much money you can make. It's how much money you can keep and make sure you're protected along the way. And I know for a fact that's what you do over at Blue Sky Benefit Solutions. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your company, what you do, how you got there, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the podcast that I listen to and I'm a fan of. I love it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, so, you know, as you said, you know, sometimes it's not about how much money you make, it's how much money you can keep, right? And that's what you guys are all about as well. So at Blue Sky Benefit Solutions, you know, we're all about the employees and the employer as well. But if you can't keep employees and you can't keep employees happy, right? What are you in business for? So with the employee benefits, retaining employees, all that good stuff, you know, insurance, all that good stuff. It's not sexy, right? But you need employees and you need to treat them right. And with health insurance, dental, vision, all that good stuff, all that stuff it's a commodity, right? So anybody with a license, insurance license, can sell that stuff. So it's all about what can we at Blue Sky Benefit Solutions do for that employer, that small business, to help them, maintain that value, that bottom line, all that other stuff that comes with owning a business, whether that's payroll tax liabilities, whether that's helping them with WOTC, whether that's helping tax credits, anything like that we can bring to the table that you guys know so much about, right? Bringing you guys in, bringing other tax benefits and credits and all that good stuff to the table. We're a true partner with small businesses. And that truly is what sets us apart from your local agency out there. And to me, that truly is what sets us apart.
Well said, Jeff. You know, one of our mantras here at Shield is that the candlestick maker should be focusing on making candles, the lawyer should be focused on lawyering, and the baker should be focused on baking. So it's critical that they find third-party vendors and partners to delegate what you call not sexy, but frankly, if you don't have the not sexy parts of a relationship really streamlined, it's very difficult to be sexy, right? So tell us a little bit about the inroads you've made over the last few months in such a competitive hiring environment in offering creative and nuanced perks to employees coming in.
Yeah. So one of them, to be honest with you, is in the recruiting area. Like I said, anybody can sell, if you got a license, anybody can sell what we offer, right? So as long as we're servicing that product at an A+ game, we think we can be super competitive in that marketplace. But what can we offer that's extra, right? So let's just say it's an agriculture dealership or whatever. We can go in and we can say, hey, do you want to up your game by 25% this year as far as your bottom line revenue and sales goals? Who doesn't want to do that, right? So what we can do is say, all right, let's put on 3 to 4 or 5 more salespeople. Well, how do you get truly good people? All right, well, let's recruit the best people that we can possibly recruit. Well, let's go to your competition. Let's see who's out there in the marketplace. Well, everybody knows that there's really, you're scraping the totem pole, and you're also, at this point, you're competing with the government, right? A lot of people are staying home that shouldn't be staying home. And do you want those people anyway? Probably not. So now all of a sudden you got to get super competitive with benefits. And, everybody's paying top wage. So now all of a sudden you got to go, all right, well, what can we do with our benefit program? And a lot of local agencies, they're just playing the long game and like, okay, well, there's not super people that are creative out there in the insurance world. It's like your old librarian out there wearing the glasses and, just, hey, be quiet, kids, right? They're not creative enough to think outside the box and say, let's do this a little bit. Let's tweak this. Let's do this. You have to be creative in order to find new talent. And what I mean by that is let's find top people that we can go out and say, hey, how about a $5 million life insurance policy for you and your family to come over and work for us for great salespeople, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, there's
people out there don't have life insurance. So offer them a great deal.
I love that. I think the difference between what you're doing and what most small business do is they're looking to hire people, but you're helping them recruit people. You're helping them recruit the cream of the cream, the top of the top, right? Rather than just putting an ad in a newspaper. Well, I don't even know if newspapers exist anymore, but online with Indeed or something else along those lines, you're going out and you're finding the top talented people in the market, right? And they may be getting paid well, but there's something that's missing there, something that they want. For example, when I worked on Wall Street, I actually, fortunate enough, I filled out one resume one time, and I was recruited to every other firm that I worked at before I started my own, right? Now, it wasn't necessarily the payout or what I got paid, but one big thing is when I started a family, when I was a single guy, let me tell you, paying my own life insurance or my own health insurance was reasonable, $250 a month. But when you get into having a family, you're talking about $2,500 to $3,000 a month, right? And I don't care how much money you're making. At the end of the day, nobody wants to write that check. So it's an added benefit to recruit me. The company decided that they were going to pay my family's health insurance, which was huge across the board, plus the gym memberships and a lot of other bells and whistles that were really good. So I'm assuming that's what your company does. You come in, you figure out what the want is, and you figure out how we can get them over by fulfilling that need.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like I said, it's all about being creative. And as far as on the recruitment point of it, it's more than just, going out and trying to find that perfect person. It truly is when you place that ad in Indeed, who's placing that ad? Is it the sales manager of the company, or is it the HR person? Because I'll be honest with you, that HR person of a 70-person company, they're trying to be everything to everyone. Like they're trying to do clerical, they're trying to do salespeople, they're trying to hire, janitorial people. That's not the same skill set. They have no idea who they're trying to hire. You got to put your thinking cap on and say, who am I trying to hire, and why am I trying to hire that person, and why would that person actually want to come and work here? It takes creativity right now in 2021 to hire the right person. And you need to put that into your job ad and be different from everybody else in the marketplace.
Hey, Jeff, can you give us some examples on some creative employer tactics in recruiting over the last summer?
Now you're getting into some things that I may not give up here, to be honest with you. But I'll be 100%.
You're not going to tell us the trade secrets.
I'll give you an example here. But so I worked with a company in July that we placed an ad, and they were hiring some salespeople. They placed an ad, and in 24 hours, they had 155 people apply. And it comes down to, and we helped them, but it comes down to this. if you're not asking questions, employer questions in your ad about what you want that your perfect hire to act like, the culture, right? Inside your company. So what I mean by that is you don't even have to look at that resume. And if they don't actually fill out those 3 questions, you should be throwing that resume in the garbage. It was an insurance agency, and we had people in those 155 resumes that had 20 to 25 years of excellent experience. And they did not take the time to fill out those questions that were spot on. And I've been recruiting for 25 years. And we have these 3 questions dialed in. Those 20 to 25 years worth of polished experience, we threw those resumes right in the garbage because they did not fill out those 3 questions. It's that dialed in.
That's amazing. When we help clients out with new hiring, we usually outsource them to professionals like you. But if we have to give them a 30,000-foot overview, we give them a 90-day game plan, right? Because it's not just about getting the talent in the door, it's training them properly when they're there, right? So I think what we're talking about here with you is the pre-onboarding process, right? Where you have to step in, you got to understand your company, and you got to ask yourself some hard questions and figure out what your company's core values are, right? Once you know what you want out of your company and what you stand for, from that point in time, you can actually go out and see what you're looking for, right? And you can develop like the 3 questions that you develop for your clients, 3 questions that really will hit it and dial it in to make sure that applicant that's coming in for the interview is somebody that you want on the team in the first place, right? Once you decide you want to hire that person, it doesn't stop there. The first 30 days is going to be a training period. Like you're going to show them where to eat lunch, walk them around the office, right? You actually got to hold their hand. You can't just throw them out there and let them sink or swim. And then you should have a whole new set or a whole new agenda for 60 days in. And by day 90, you're going to know if they're a fit for this company or not. That's the way we see it.
You should be able to look at a resume and not only look at the resume, but those 3 questions and see right then and there if they're going to be a fit or not after 90 days, literally. And then I say, listen, here's your questions on an interview process. And can you see yourself sitting in a vehicle for 2 hours going through a car wash with this person, right? And if you can't, that's a non-hire, it's a no-go.
I like that. I like that analogy a lot.
That's not company culture.
Yeah, I believe you. So you've been recruiting for 25 years. You've been in this space. You've seen it all. You've seen the ups and downs, but you didn't start there. So how did Jeff Brekken get into HR, recruiting, and insurance benefits? Because I got a feeling there's a good story behind here. Let's pull back this curtain and talk about you a little bit, Jeff.
I grew up on a farm, Northwest Minnesota. I thought I was going to be a farmer at age, you can take the boy off the farm, but you can't take the farm out of the boy. Right. So I, at the age of 9, I'll be honest with you, I was doing all the work, of a boy on the farm. My dad dropped me off, at a tractor and said, "Hey, go to work at 7 a.m. And at 7 p.m. he came, picked me up, and that's it. 12-hour days. And I'd punch in, punch out. And I asked my dad, I said, "Hey, can I get paid for this?" And he goes, "Absolutely." Because I was doing the same work as some of the hired men on the farm. And we had a couple 3,000 acres at the time. And it took a lot of help to do that. So my dad asked me, "What do you think you're worth?" And I said, "How about $1 an hour?" I was 9 years old. And he goes, "Sounds fair to me. If that's what you believe that you're worth, I will pay you $1 an hour." So I was making $1 an hour at 9 years old. And so I believed that I was worth that, and that's what he paid me. So up until the age that I was out of college, I was getting paid what I believed that I was worth. Obviously, I got raises as I went, right? I had a W-2 position when I got out of college, and I struggled at that point because everybody up until that point paid me what I believed that I was worth. But when I got out of college, I was making like 21 grand at a W-2 space, right? I was working my ass off, but they wouldn't give me a raise. What happened was I thought that I was like working way too much for what I was making, but I wasn't getting a raise. So I went in my boss's office, and long story short is they refused me a raise, so I quit instantly. He gave me a $4,000 raise, and I'm like, well, how come I wasn't? You refused me raises over and over and over, but now I quit, and you gave me a raise. That's right. So I'm like, okay, well, long story short is I quit there just on principle because I didn't believe in that sort of a management deal, right? So that happened 3 times, 3 W-2 jobs. I finally quit because I was worth more on my own as a 1099 contractor than I was to anybody at W-2 positions. So my love was construction. So I started a construction company just out of the blue. And from there, I built 109 custom homes. And just out of the blue, didn't have any really experience. I was in the construction field selling construction materials. And then in 2008, a birdie tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Not today, Jeff, we're in control." And so basically I wasn't going to wait around for the construction industry to come back. And then so in 2010, I got into insurance, and the rest is history. We got some carriers. I started Blue Sky Benefit Solutions, and we stayed small in Minnesota, North South Dakota. And then one of my mentors said, "Hey, you should hire a coach." And I'm like, "What are you talking about, coach?" "Yeah, a sales coach." And I'm like, "I've never heard of a sales coach before." And so he hooked me up with a sales coach. And in 2015, we doubled our production. And then I got a different coach. 2016, we doubled again. Got a different coach in 2017, we doubled again. 2018, we doubled again. 2019, I ran into this thing called Arte Syndicate that Andy Frizella and Ed Milet had put on. And all of a sudden I got I applied to it, and then I got an email 3 weeks later that said, "Congratulations, you are one of 50 of 36,000 applicants." And we made the Arte Syndicate, and did that we're still included in that. And then so there were 2 of my sales coaches, and then now we're in Apex and met you. So it's been a wild ride. And last year we did business in over 40 states. So it's been crazy.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Up and downs. It's a roller coaster ride, right?
That is the life of an entrepreneur, right? Let me ask you something. And I haven't asked anybody this, but do you think because you started out in a W-2 role and moved to 1099, you were used to learning companies' procedures, but when you went out on your own, did it yourself? However, you were more amicable to getting a coach because, well, like we tell our clients, you don't know what you don't know, but you had that before. Because one thing that we see with a lot of entrepreneurs is if they start their own business from day one, they don't think they need a coach or anybody to help them. So do you think that helped you?
Yes and no. And the reason why I say that is, I've always been on a athletic team, right? So I knew that a coach could always help me. I just didn't know anything about sales coaches, right? And I'm like, man, that makes a lot of sense. And then I'm sitting here thinking, well, gosh, you look at pro hockey, pro football, pro baseball, whatever. I mean, heck, they all have like 4 or 5 different coaches in all aspects of their life. And I'm like, man, that makes a lot of sense. I would have a sales coach. It just blossomed from there.
I think we just lost Luigi. His computer crashed. I just got a text. So it's just me and you in this here now, right? So that's awesome, Jeff. I'm so happy that you're here helping a lot of other small businesses, right? get protected, get the insurance that they need, and helping them recruit the talent that they need, because it's extremely important. Small businesses need all the help that they can get. Me and you both know this, right?
Who doesn't hire, right? Everybody hires people, and it's all about hiring the right person into the right culture, and nobody hires the right people to begin with. That's the way I
Exactly.
feel about it.
I think it's a lot about building that culture, right, from the ground up as a business owner, and then like, obtaining the right people that fit into the culture, not just bringing any warm body that because you need a seat to fill to place
Yeah.
them there, because it doesn't work that way. You know, um, when I owned my brokerage firm, we grew it from 5 to 80 reps, right?
That's huge.
Big,
That's a lot of work.
yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. We did it within 5 years, from 2011. Out of 4 years, I left in 2015. But the thing is it was a revolving door. We were constantly hiring, because you couldn't just train somebody. What we did, we had to get them licensed, and studying for your Series 7, your Series 63, your Series 65 it's really a process, right? Most people, it takes six months to get everything done.
Yeah.
However, it could be a year, it could be 2 years. So you have to have people constantly coming through the door. And within the first 90 days, we don't even let them sit for the test unless they were a fit, right? We
Right.
worked in a very, very high energy type of environment, right? It was very rah, let's go, let's make sales, right? And it wasn't a fit for everybody. We knew right away. We knew sometimes right away when they didn't come back from lunch, we're never seeing them again, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but the
You
people
knew
that
that cutoff point, right?
Mhm.
You knew exactly where that cutoff point was. Like if they were there 90 days, I mean, they're going to be there for 3 years.
As long as they could pass their test, right? But we gave them
Right.
as many opportunities as they needed, because we had to sponsor them for that as well, right? So, Jeff, really love what you're doing with Blue Sky. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about Addicted to Success, the podcast you launched recently?
Yeah, Addicted to Winning, man. It's been an awesome deal. Like, we have some of the best guests on. I think yesterday we recorded episode 15 and 16. Man, some of the guests that we've had on there, and I believe you are scheduled as well in the next couple of weeks, but it's been a ride. And I know that you've got some unbelievable guests that have been on as well, but it's been like to showcase people's journeys, where they started, the midpoint, where they're at now. It's just a really cool thing to, because people don't just start out with success. I mean, it's not put in their laps, right? For me, it's you either win or you learn. There's a lot of people that fail out there, and they continue to fail. You and I are part of a group that there's no failing. You either win or you learn. There's nobody in that group that fails.
I'm with you. Absolutely, 100%, right? Failing, we fail forward, but we learn from that mistake, right? And we look back. When you look back, you realize where you went wrong, how you could fix it, and how not to make it the next time around. And that's what allows you to put systems and processes in place to run a well-organized business across the board. I guess I fail all the time, every day.
But you
Constantly.
learn from that, right? And it's you never fail at the same thing twice, because you make sure that you learn from that and then you go forward. But there's a lot of people that are stuck in the exact same spot year after year after year after year, and they don't learn.
Speaking of learning, let me ask you this: who do you think the three biggest influences you've learned from since you've scaled your business are?
Since I've scaled my business, probably Andy Frisella, my first mentor that told me to have a sales coach. Dudley Simmons has to be one. And then that was back in 2015. And the other one would have to be, wow, that's a great question. Nobody's ever asked me that, Matt.
Listen, there's levels to this game. You know it. I know who helped you out in the beginning. I know who helped you out along the way. But as we progress, we're lifelong learners. We're always looking to
That is a great question.
the next move. So I'm thinking
That's a great question. Andy, probably Ryan Stewman. Them are the three.
that wasn't an easy question. I know. Appreciate it.
Since I've grown a ton, to be honest with you, since just this year, since joining Apex, that has to be So that's all on Ryan.
Guys, if you're listening, you don't know what Apex is. It's a network that me and Jeff are part of that helps us focus on becoming the most elite versions of ourselves in all areas of life, not just business. There's a group of probably 1,200 business owners around the country where we have meetups. Probably me and Jeff see each other once a month, but I mean, there's multiple meetups where you can get involved and you can actually connect with people from Maine to California that you would not have the opportunity to in your everyday life. If you guys want to check it out, go to breakfreakacademy.com. I know that they're always accepting new applications. Apply to be in Apex, and you can get and start hanging around with me and Jeff and a lot of the other people that I've had on here as well. With that being said, Jeff, you're doing a lot of amazing things, man. I appreciate you being on the show. We're running out of time. We like to, keep it within a certain time frame because we all got businesses to get back to. I got two questions for you. Being that we're on the Liquid Lunch Project, right? What is your favorite drink?
Oh, dude, I'm not hard right now. So, I don't drink coffee. I don't. Water right now is absolutely my favorite drink, but depending on the time of day, I'm on Liquid IV when I travel.
Okay.
But man, I'm a water guy.
Nice. Very nice. So no alcoholic beverages for you? No fermented beverages?
I'm not necessarily a beer guy, but if I had to do alcohol, it would be a Grey Goose water.
Nice. Very nice. Hey, Jeff, let me ask you one last question, and I want you to tell the listeners where they could find you, right? Reach out to you, Blue Sky Benefits, find your podcast, right? But the question is this, you've done a lot in your life. What does success mean to Mr. Jeff Brekken?
Success means helping my team, helping my family, and helping others do what I do on a daily basis, which means basically helping my clients and helping others when I can recruit others to help clients. Man, that's all to me. And being happy and being getting up in the morning above ground, not below ground, and like doing stuff like this, and just telling the world how to be able to recruit really cool freaking people. So just sharing knowledge, you know what I mean?
I love it, Jeff. You're having fun. I tell everybody they should get their own podcast. It's a lot of fun. You meet a lot of cool, interesting people, and you never know what can actually happen. You never actually know how many people you can help. I think you helped a lot of people here today. So why don't you tell the audience where they could find you, how they can get in touch with you and reach you, your company, and find your podcast?
BlueSkyBenefits.com, and the podcast is atwpodcast.com, and just Jeff Brekken on Facebook, or jbrekken35 at IG. So I appreciate you guys. This has been awesome. Matt, you're the best, man.
Jeff, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, that's a wrap, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.
Thank you for listening to the show, and make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.